to do if you went over your calories and you currently feel like this. No worries, we're going to review this today, the reality of it, do's and don'ts, and my top tips. Starting off with the facts, if your maintenance is 2,200 calories, and let's say you're cutting at 1,700 calories, all those calories in between those two numbers are still you being in a deficit. So even if you had 2 extra cookies and it put you from 1,700 to 1,900 calories, you're still in the deficit. At 1,700 calories, you're in about a 3,500 calorie deficit per week, which equals 1 pound of fat loss. So if you're eating a little bit more, the fat loss will still happen, it'll just be slower. And if you're new here and you have no idea what cutting, bulking, maintaining means, you can listen to this podcast. Now let's say you didn't go just 500 calories over, you went like 2,000 calories over. Here's what not to do. Definitely don't weigh yourself the next day, it's going to be inaccurate. You have 3 directions you can go in. Continue to overeat the next day, decide to restrict yourself, or to just get right back to plan. I promise you, do the third one. I promise you that's progress because you've never went back to plan before. You just continue the cycle, and we don't want to do that anymore. Break the cycle. Okay, now it's time to ask yourself some questions. Are your calories too low? Instead of starting at 1,700, why don't you start at 2,000? Next, processed versus whole foods. So you can have this whole egg omelet, or you can have a protein cookie. Which one are you going to pick? Which one's going to fill you up more? More chewing equals more satiation, so make sure you pick those wisely. Same goes with volume eating. Here are some tips on the screen. Adding cauliflower rice to your rice, for example, and planning ahead. If you love a sweet treat at night, just make sure you plan for it. I have a sweet treat every single night, and I make sure it's always allocated before so I never feel guilty about it. Hope it helps.